In this video, we're going to talk about how you could collect some further data from your landlord about your offices if, for example, you don't pay for your gas and electricity yourself and don't have that information. So just going to walk you through this template that we often use. So this is something we put together working with clients over the years. We have this broken down by colours into a sort of a minimum request, stuff that be really useful to know, enhanced data, which is a bit better, helps you be more accurate, and then the blue will be kind of our best case scenario. So in terms of what we've got, let's just walk through. So obviously some key information here that tells us about the office that you're talking about, particularly important if you've got multiple offices or it's an office that opened and closed in the year, but just some background information. And then we have a series of questions. So these first few in the general section are trying to help us get an understanding of the energy efficiency, perhaps the building. So does it have energy certificates, known as EPCs? Does it have any sustainability ratings? You might have heard BREEAM mentioned previously. These sorts of questions on here, trying to get a sense of, is the landlord planning to do more to help make the building more efficient? Useful to know, won't necessarily help us with a carbon footprint. So then as we get into more of the impact data, so it may be that the landlord is already collecting some information around this and doing their own carbon footprinting, in which case, great, they can tell us that. Relatively unusual. So it's more likely we're going to want to concentrate on these red areas. So as a starting point, if they can tell us the size of the whole building and the area that you're leasing off them, that enables us to do some sort of simple proxy-based allocations, or it might be expressed in the number of desks that you rent from them and the number of desks in the total building. So again, giving us some background information. If we get then specifically into different types of energy consumption, so starting with electricity, is there some specific information for the floor of the building you're on, perhaps, which might be from submetering? And that being the case, can they tell you how many kilowatt hours your business has used? To be perfect information. If it's not, can they tell you the energy consumption for the whole building? And then you can use these other proxies like area or number of desks to allocate it to your business. It's also useful to know if they've got any renewables or what the source of the electricity is. So is it UK grid, which is fairly straightforward, but if you're measuring data that's in the US or in Europe, might be additional information you'd want to collect. And then in terms of proving whether it's 100% renewable tariff that we're using, then again, you can ask for that question and ask for a bit more detail. So gas is very similar, starts with a yes-no question, because not every building will use gas, but then we're asking for the same sort of broad breakdowns of information. You might be using some other fuels in the building. You may not know this, but again, always worth asking the question. So is there anything else, whether it's liquid gases, LPG or propane or biomass or heating oil? And again, asking them for information on that. Similar information around water and wastewater. And what happens to it. So crucially, this is an important question just to check that actually all of the water that comes in does go out. It doesn't go to a separate sewage treatment plant somewhere. And then waste, well, this one's always a bit of a challenge, but what we're trying to do is structure a bunch of questions here that will allow us to understand what waste streams are collected from the business and how much is collected and how much of that could be allocated to you as a business, whether that's directly or by splitting it based on the area that you're using in the building, understanding what's happening to that waste, where it's going. So is it going to landfill or some other end disposal route like perhaps incineration, energy from waste? And then getting into some of the recycling aspects. So are there mixed or separated recycling? So that could be everything going in together, or might be separate paper and glass and cardboard or food. Talking about some final bits in here around sort of other waste streams. So hazardous waste. So if the landlord collects batteries or light bulbs and things from your space, then again, you can ask if there's any information around that. The last one we've got in here around data is fugitive emissions. So this is gases that leak from air conditioning systems. So again, starting question here is there air conditioning? And if there is, has it been topped up during the year? Have the F gases been topped up? And what name of gas was topped up and how much? And then these last couple of questions are trying to understand how you can reduce impacts perhaps with your employees. So does the site have some charge points? Does it support active travel? So are there Cycle storage, are the showers, are the better facilities for people to dry their towels and any damp clothing, and proximity to public transport. So we'll make this available to you. I hope you find it helpful.